I now give the call to the member for Fairfax.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question goes to the Minister for Energy and Emissions Reduction. Will the Minister update the House on how the Morrison government's gas plan will support the road to recovery from the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic by delivering the affordable and reliable energy that Australians rely on?
The Minister for Energy and Emissions Reduction.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Fairfax for his question. And he's focused, like all of us on this side of the House, on affordable, reliable energy and gas working for all Australians, Mr Speaker. And as someone with 20 years' experience in business, he knows the important role gas plays in the economy. And he knows that the path out of COVID includes affordable, reliable gas driving jobs, driving investment and driving the economy, Mr Speaker. Now, gas is important for affordable, reliable electricity. It plays that role, but that's less than half of the use of gas. The other use is as an industrial feedstock, a chemical feedstock, and we just heard from the Minister for Agriculture talking about a $100 billion agriculture industry. Well, that can't be achieved without large growth in nitrogen fertiliser, and that is made, Mr Speaker, from gas. It's made from gas. Now, Mr Speaker, even before the pandemic hit, we were seeing large reductions, substantial reductions in the wholesale price of gas, 42% reduction. That was confirmed recently by the AER, who said that we're now seeing wholesale gas prices at the lowest levels we've seen for years, Mr Speaker, and that's helping to drive down wholesale electricity prices. A 42% reduction in wholesale electricity prices before the pandemic hit, Mr Speaker. That means that all Australians will benefit from a gas-fired recovery. Now, Mr Speaker, gas provides flexible, reliable energy that is a complement to solar and wind, and we've seen record levels of investment in renewables in 2019, and the Clean Energy Regulator tells us that we'll see similar levels this year. Last year we saw $9 billion of investment in solar and wind. But for the renewable sector to continue to grow, the grid must be balanced, Mr Speaker. We know that gas is the perfect partner to intermittent renewables. The Chief Scientist has said as much. Far from competing with renewables, Mr Speaker, it complements them. It complements them by helping to stabilise the grid, reduce emissions, Mr Speaker, and drive lower prices. And that's why we've recently introduced to this place the Grid Reliability Fund, a $1 billion fund focused on dispatchable generation and transmission, Mr Speaker. Now, Mr Speaker, there are many who agree with this. I've mentioned just a moment ago the Chief Scientist, who agrees on the complementary role of gas with renewables.
Member for Kingston.
The member for Hunter agrees. The member for Hunter agrees, and he said just last week, we will need more gas. We will need more gas, Mr Speaker. Like the Narrabri project in New South Wales, 1,300 jobs, more than half of New South Wales's gas requirements, Mr Speaker. Unlike those opposite, when it comes to gas, we know where we stand: reliable energy, lower prices, lower emissions.